All right. Round us out with some good Asmon slop.
So we got a little bit of a situation.
Are you buying that the former FBI director didn't know what 86 Trump meant?
So the context is that not Jesus Christ, what's his name now? I keep now because somebody said Joseph Kony, and I can't remember his name now. What's his actual name?
I don't know what Comey's first name is, actually. I'm sure if I heard it, I would remember that.
James Comey.
James Comey.
Okay. Yeah, James Comey. It got me messed up. So he put in here and he posted a picture and it says 8647. 86 generally means to disappear somebody, kill them, or make them go away, right?
So the general sense, 86 could mean kill somebody, but usually 86 it. Get rid of it. 86 it. I've heard my parents use this terminology where let's 86 it. Doesn't. You could say it could mean kill if you're being honest, like to 86 them, like could mean to kill somebody, but the broad general application of this is like get rid of it, 86 it. But
right, this is generally, it depends on like who you're discussing, etc. Right? No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, it kind of does though, right?
Trans work in food service or kitchens ever? I don't think so.
Not exactly. Look it up. Okay, we will. But let me go ahead and do this.
Absolutely not, Jesse. That is a ridiculous and insane statement to make, certainly within this context, but especially coming from a guy who's the former director of the FBI.
Yeah.
A guy who spent most of his career prosecuting mobsters and gangsters, people who know and execute other humans and use this exact lingo of 86. Comey himself admitted in his follow-on message that he knew that this was a political statement. Well, the only reason he knew that, Jesse,
of course,
was because a little over a month ago, a bunch of anti-Trump...
86 means to terminate. It always has. Well, here's the interesting question. Do people that are in gangs use the term 86 to refer to killing people?
In gangs? Okay. Maybe that is. Maybe a lot of gangsters are picking up. It's possible. I don't know. Maybe I just...
Yes. Okay. All right. So then there you go.
There you go.
Anti-Elon Musk protesters were proliferating the use of this 8647 slogan, which was a veiled call to action to murder the sitting president of the United States. So for Comey to think that we, the American people, are so stupid as to think that he, as a former FBI director, former prosecutor, and someone who clearly pays attention to what's going on, would believe his lie that he didn't know what this actually was called.
And that's also a really good point. If anybody would know what this means, it would be the FBI director.
Calling for the dangerousness of this, Jesse, cannot be underestimated. When we have 2 assassination attempts on the president's life.
Personally, I think it's a stretch. I don't.
Of course, we know you don't. We know you don't.
I think that people like this do these little things, and they do them under a degree of plausible deniability. Oh, I didn't really mean that. It's just that every single time that there's a misunderstanding, it just happens to be on one direction.
But they will say this exact same thing for Trump and Elon. Okay.
Yeah, what are the odds? Come on, get the fuck out of here. It's so dishonest and it's so disrespectful to the intelligence of everybody else that's watching.
True.
That that he thinks you're so stupid, or the person doing it thinks that you're so stupid to believe such an obvious form of gaslighting.
True. I feel gaslit.
When we have people who look to guys like Comey, who've been celebrated by MSNBC and the Democrat elite and CNN as the beacon of integrity, the law and order guy, the guy who would tell the truth no matter what the consequences.
Yes.
This is the guy who's issuing a hit on President Trump, the president that the
issuing a hit. Whoo!
American people voted for. So it's guys like Comey and others who call the president the modern-day Nazi, people who are in great positions of influence, who are saying that President Trump poses an existential threat to our country. These are people who hate democracy and hate the American people because they cannot stand that the people overwhelmingly chose to elect Donald Trump and send him back to the White House.
Go ahead.
So they are seeking other means.
Remember that these people pardoned all the J6ers, including the people who were saying hang Mike Pence, but maybe that was just metaphorically.
To get their way and to try to remove him from that position.
Right. Okay. So let's go ahead and ask the question. Is there documented evidence?
And now we ask Grok. Oh my God, we've entered the based era of politics. It's slop on slop on slop.
That using the term 86, that gangs or criminals have used the term 86.
Why is it? I feel like 86 is more of like a military corporate term thing than anything else. Gangs are using 86? Where does that even originate from?
To refer to killing a person. Pretty simple question. Right? Because that's really what matters. Tame 86 is widely recognized. Crowdsourced platform 86 is to get rid of, originally for killing someone, law enforcement and gang slogans, historical and media contexts. In an organized crime narrative, particularly those in the mafia, is occasionally referenced as a euphemism for eliminating someone, but those references are often fictional or speculative. Okay, so there we go. The 80 miles out, 6 feet under. All right, so there we go.
I like how he reads that explanation appears to be a folk etymology, possibly created to retroactively. I like how he doesn't even. Okay, gotcha. Good one, dude.
There it is. And so Gretchen Whitmer did it too. Well, I don't know about her. I have no idea. Speculative, literally. Read it. There's no definitive documented evidence in authoritative sources confirming that gangs or criminals have used 86 to refer to killing a person. While anecdotal claims on X and popular culture suggest a connection, these lack.
Like, if you want to say that Comey's story or whatever, or Instagram post, I don't know what he did. If you want to say it was like edgy, oh yeah, I think it was fairly edgy given everything. I think that's a fair statement. But like, that's about the furthest we can go. Come on. I thought that comedy was legal again. What happened, guys? What happened? I thought comedy was legal.
Substantiation and are contradicted by any reliable sources, IG 187. Okay, so in that case, what other reason would someone have to call for another person to be 86th? Where's it? Yeah, there we go. What would the other reason possibly be?
Who knows?
Workplace, it could also be outside hospitality, excluding someone from a group, reasons, getting rid of them, reasons as well, key points, nonviolent intent. In nearly all documented cases, 86 refers to removal, exclusion, or dismissal without physical harm. The term's versatility allows it to apply to various scenarios. Tone and context matter. The reason for calling to someone to be 86 depends on the speaker's intent and the situation.
Did Trump post this on his account? I remember the picture.
The sun rises.
I hope this video has nothing to do with the article. Please, 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 please have nothing to do with the article. Please just be a totally random video.
Culture became glorious.
It'd make me so happy.
Eastern Anatolia, the timeless journey.
Former President Donald Trump setting off a firestorm of controversy after an incendiary social media post. Trump posted a video on Friday, this one, featuring an image of President Joe Biden hogtied on the back of that pickup truck. The Biden campaign is blasting
Maybe
the post
they just mean hogtied as in like moving him safely.
inciting political violence. CNN's Steve Contorno joining us now with more on all of this. Steve, I mean, what is the Trump's campaign?
Like, I'm sure that they apologized and rescinded. No, come on. Don't play these games, guys. Don't let them mindfuck you. Don't let the optics losers mindfuck you into thinking that you have to apologize for yourself. This is fucking retarded, okay? Don't buy these arguments. They don't even believe them. They know that this is meme shit.
It could be practical, maintaining order in a bar, personal, ending a relationship, or figurative, ending a person. No evidence of violence. As noted in previous response, there is no credible evidence linking 86 to killing or violence in gang-related context. So it's vague. Yes, let me go back. I'll read the first sentence. The term 86, commonly used to get rid of, eliminating someone, often in non-violent context. So it's up in the air. Here's the thing. I don't like this, but this is what lefties do. Saying the 86 just means to get rid of, but it does not imply violence at all, in my opinion. In my opinion,
He should have known better.
take the L.
Ooh, they should take the L? Fuck no. Fight him, Asmon.
It's too vague.
There you go.
No, you're right. It's too vague. But in my opinion, I think that's what he meant.
He meant to
I
kill
do.
them.
I
The
think
FBI,
that's exactly what he meant.
the former head of the FBI, appointed by a Republican, served for almost 10 years. I don't remember how long Congress was for. That's what he meant. He meant that he wanted somebody to go kill Trump. Okay. Remember, these are the same people. These are the same people who, when you talk about Jan 6, when you talk about Trump, I can't read minds. I can't read somebody's mind. I don't know what Elon meant by the double Nazi salute. I can't tell what's going on. Nobody can know 100% what's going on inside somebody's mind. They're the same people that do that shit. But now, he wanted him dead 100%. Easy. I know for a fact. He wanted him dead 100%. He wanted him dead. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him.
And I think that we need to take at least some degree of accountability for people that use these vague statements constantly in order to advocate for things that they actually believe. This is also in the context of a person referring to the president. And how could somebody get rid of the president? How could you get rid of the president other than killing him?
Well, let's see. There's the so the 25th Amendment, where if you think that a president is mentally incompetent, there's this whole process in government called impeachment.
This has also been used in Urban Dictionary as well.
Oh,
this has
Urban
been used
Dictionary.
in popular culture also. So yes, of course, in some cases it's about killing. In some cases it's not. And 100%, that's what he meant. Yeah, impeach. Getting impeached doesn't mean that you get removed from office. Trump got impeached twice. You didn't.
Oh, he doesn't know what the impeachment process is. Oh, he doesn't know. It's okay. Okay. It's okay.
Didn't get removed from office. That's not the same thing. To be fair, even in a gang, he obviously fucking means it. Yeah. In U.S. common culture, we've always thought of 86 this way. Yeah, you'd think that he was calling for to be publicly executed. Don't you think he has the means to do this without a tweet? Probably not. No, I mean, like, from everything that I've heard, like, actually getting to the president's pretty hard to do.
Oh, wait, what? Now the deep state doesn't exist? Okay.
That's why it was so surprising. But, like, that's just from podcasts and people talking about it. Mm-hmm. And especially with someone with influence. I use 86 real life in the military at 1,000% means to terminate.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
Can you explain the impeachment process? I thought the same thing, but Asmon said, personally, I think that the wording on it is like a little bit goofy and can make it a little bit hard to understand. But if you fully impeach somebody, I don't know why, but they have a different thing. They have a different term for it in the House and in the Senate. So they'll say that you impeach somebody in the House and then you convict them in the Senate. So in my mind, the conviction in the Senate is just following through on the impeachment. But we'll say that, like, if you were impeached in the House and not convicted in the Senate, then the terminology they'll use is, oh, well, he was impeached, but he wasn't removed from office, which I think is stupid. I think it makes it more confusing than it needs to be. But to convict in the Senate on an impeachment is necessarily to remove somebody from office, and then it's to bar them from holding any future office. That's what the process of impeachment is for. The process of impeachment is to remove somebody from office. That's the reason why that was created. So impeaching is the way to hold somebody like Trump accountable if you wanted to 86 him without killing him.
I mean, lost his security clearance, 8 feet out, 6 feet under. Urban Dictionary is a good enough source. The AI tells you no evidence has been found, and you're saying it's a lie? Well, no. And so what this is saying, this is what it's saying, is that it is not conclusive, and there is context required.
Oh, my God.
That's what they're saying. Because there is documented evidence of it being used in a way that is nonviolent, and there is documented evidence of it being used in a way that is violent. That's it. And so that's the difference. It's literally
Like with all of the military shit and all of the TV shows and everything, you think we would have like countless examples to draw from, because Americans love this type of entertainment where somebody's saying like 86 and we need to 86 this guy. I think I don't know if you've ever heard that in American media. It's just not a very common term. So the idea that this is like commonly something used to refer to like killing somebody, I don't know.
mob term, right? Exactly. And so I think the context is what matters. In my opinion,
the context being seashells on the beach and everything, he obviously meant to kill him.
he meant it that way.
Of course.
I do.
True.
How
What else could he have
serious
possibly meant?
is the administration
I do.
taking this, and what are the next steps going to be?
We're taking this very seriously. As you mentioned, the Department of Homeland Security and specifically
Agreed, but not beyond a reasonable doubt. I agree with you. And I think that's why it needs to be investigated. I don't think that you should treat this guy like he's immediately guilty, but this absolutely deserves an investigation, and it seems like it's happening. Of course he did. He's a former FBI director, not a random internet troll. Yeah, and law enforcement, it 100% means to kill. Coney hates Trump, so he has motive. Yeah. I mean,
Like, again, we have so many cop videos. We have so many like police, like radar listen, or the radio listen-ins. Like, we can hear so much. Like, if this was the case, I feel like you would just be able to find so many examples of it. You'd be able to find so many examples of it. It's like when I was challenging XQC, when he was saying like, oh, well, obviously Elon wasn't Hitler saluting. Like, you could just kind of like maybe make these things by mistake. It's like, oh, if this can happen by mistake, somebody might just do this. Show me one example of it ever. Show me a single example of anybody else ever in the history of all of politicking ever making this the Hitler salute. Anything ever. Not a single example. Well, then it seems kind of crazy to assume that this could just happen coincidentally. We can't find a single example of it. No? It's like, yeah.
it's just, I don't even... It's crazy how some people like, and this is the problem with.
Oh my God, he's about to spin that whole argument about Elon and Trump. He's gonna be like, it's crazy that people will jump to conclusions so much. But this is the exact same shit that he said in defense of Trump, where the mens rea, where the state of mind, where what he was doing was so much more obvious, was so much more criminal, was so much more knowingly evil and illegal. I can't read his mind.
But Coney hates Trump, so he has motive. Yeah.
That's motive to say somebody should be killed?
I mean, it's just, I don't even, it's crazy how some people like, and this is the problem with dishonesty with people like this. Except he's government. Yeah.
specifically Sean Curran, the current Secret Service director, a man who has been willing to lay down his life as the lead of President Trump's Secret Service detail for years now.
Yes.
He takes this seriously and is leading the investigation into this threat. There has to be accountability for this. There was a Rutgers
Well,
study.
this is a good start, right? Because there's a lot of people that have been posting this kind of stuff all the time on the internet. They've been posting this constantly on the internet, like killing Donald Trump or killing somebody else. This stuff needs to be held, like people need to be held accountable for this stuff. And I think some people need to go to jail for it. I do. Insanely, it's way too much. Why would he delete the post? Well, everybody
Calling for jailing people over speech now. Yes, based. Authoritarians gold.
knows why.
that just came out a little over a month ago, Jess.
The same people that cry about freedom of speech in Europe. Oh, they can't even use slurs. Blah, blah, blah. And now the seashells he thinks he should go to jail for. These same, always remember, these guys will defend Gallows. They will. They'll defend it. Slop will defend anything. The fleshlight joke was true and real. He will defend literally anything this administration does. And these same quote unquote free speech warriors, okay, who cried all the time about Europe doesn't even have freedom of speech anymore. Oh, you should go to jail if you say 86. And if there's ambiguity, you should go to jail for that. Like, these are the same guys.
That asked respondents their view on these calls to assassinate President Trump. And over 55% of respondents felt that murdering President Trump would be, quote unquote, somewhat justified. This is the effect of people like James Comey doing this kind of stuff.
Fucking
This
Comey.
study-
They've been
God damn it.
absolutely dialing up the rhetoric for this constantly.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
it's been the Dems. Absolutely. The Dems have been the ones dialing up the rhetoric. That is so fucking true. Not Trump. the nickname guy, not Trump, the guy who's literally known for giving comical nicknames to political opponents to degrade them. Not that guy. Not Trump, who ran on Lock Her Up in 2016. Not that guy. No. It's been the Dems for sure.
If you actually, like, I don't see how any rational, reasonable person can look at the last 10 years and see that the amount of rhetoric that has been dialed up and the amount of advocacy for violence has increased by several magnitudes.
Not the guy who won't take military action off the table for Greenland. Not the guy who says we'll bomb Iran if they go after nuclear power plants. Not the guy who is forcibly deporting people from, you know, the United States under the Alien Enemies Act. Who says we're now at war with Venezuela. Not that guy. He's not ramping any of it up. No.
There's no legal proceeding, reporting contention. It's literally just lamentation and pleading.
Not the guy who pardoned all the J6ers, including the ones that were violent, and said things like hang Mike Pence. Not the guy who settled a lawsuit to pay out Ashley Babbitt's family. They were asking for $30 million. Who knows how much they got? Okay, when she was climbing through a window to go and try to get to Congress people that were running away from the fucking rioters. No, not that party.
To the public to do something to get rid of an elected president? Yeah, obviously.
He also pointed out that there is a quote-unquote assassination culture that is starting to take over the views of what they call the extreme left.
Well, the reason why, by the way, you have this assassination culture is because you fucking retards can't do your job and arrest these people that are on social media promoting it. It's so easy. Literally, hire me. I'll do it for free.
Wasn't he, am I crazy? Or wasn't Asmongold one of the people who were explicitly saying Europe has no more freedom of speech because their freedom of speech doesn't look exactly like ours? Wasn't Asmongold one of the people who was saying exactly that? Europe has no freedom of speech because they arrest people for shit that they say on social media. I feel like he was one of the people who was the loudest in that group, but
I could solve this entire fucking problem in 6 months. You just pull up people's logs, figure out who they are, go to their house, arrest them, or question them.
People don't have any cognitive dissonance in Asmongold's audience listening to him saying this? Like, wait a second. Weren't we just crying about Europeans? Weren't we just crying about freedom of speech there? They have no dissonance at all listening to him a month or two later being like, show me their logs and I'll show them to their cells, okay? Show me the logs and I'll show you the fucking crime.
Scare the shit out of them and then put them in jail. That's it. You could do 50 of these a day and you'd be done. Do you really think there's that many people doing this? No. It's probably a few thousand people. You'd be
just a few thousand people that we put in prison for this.
Be finished with this in a few months. That's the problem. Too far? Not far enough. Not far enough. The amount of people that are advocating for violence on social media, this is not freedom of speech. It's never been freedom of speech. It's not what freedom of speech is supposed to be. And I don't think that people can defend it as if it is freedom of speech. These are blatant calls to violence. They should be called out for what they are, and the people doing them should be held accountable. Everything you do can be used against you. Keep that in mind. Of course. When do I call for violence for people? Never. The only time I think it's okay to be violent to people is in a self-defense situation.
And remember, the reason why they can always justify this is because you're thinking right now, oh, I'm going to get him in the future, but you won't, because they just redefine violence. It's not violent to have, to have people breaking into houses and arresting people and deporting them. That's not a type of violence. Or it's not violent to, to throw people in prison because they made jokes online that you didn't like that you're interpreting now as being threats against somebody's life. That's not violence. They'll be able to hold these positions, and then they'll be able to lie to you and say, oh, no, I'm principled on it, because they just redefine what the words themselves mean.
We, the American people, cannot take this lightly. Whatever your politics, we cannot allow people to get by without being held accountable for this kind of public call to assassinate the President of the United States.
It's intentionally ambiguous. Isn't it kind of contradictory to what you're saying about Hassan? No, not necessarily, because supporting a terrorist organization is much different than actively making a call to violence. I do think this is a big difference. Now, both of them are bad, but one of them is over the line and the other one generally isn't.
Do you believe that Comey is goading you guys to come after him because he wants to be a political martyr. He wants to be set up so he can say, oh, look, we were right. Donald Trump is a dictator.
Yeah.
They're coming after me.
Republicans are the new snowflakes?
Ooh. Don't want to get away with that Asmongold.
You can say whatever you want to say and use whatever vocabulary you want to use. But at the end of the day, I support and I am completely in advocacy of weaponizing the government to put these people in jail and to inflict the maximum amount of damage to them as possible. So whatever word you're using is not important to me. It's really the action and the intent behind it. I think this is a massive corrosive problem in culture and society. I think it's degraded discourse to a degree where you can't even have normal conversations with people anymore.
Wow, you can't even have normal conversations. Remember, Trump is the insult guy. They love this. They just don't like it when it happens to them. I don't like it when people are mean and do these divisive actions to me. That's what they always add that. Always add that mentally when they say stuff like this because they don't actually care about the action. They just don't like it when it happens to them. Don't ever let them forget that.
It's allowed people that should be in mental institutions to, in fact, be in positions of power. And it's caused such a massive breakdown of the culture and of conversations that it needs to be put to a stop. And I'm not advocating for any new addition of laws. All I'm advocating for is very simply the application of the current laws. But how do you judge intent?
He's like, okay, well, what did Destiny say when I kept saying you could never figure out Trump's state of mind or Trump's intent? What did Destiny say about that? Because obviously he was right, because we figure out intent all the time. I just have to remember that, and then I'll give that as the answer here.
By looking at supporting evidence, listening to what people are saying, and seeing what somebody is and making a better judgment, obviously. What do you mean?
I want somebody find me the video, because I'm curious if he said it. Did Asmongold, was he one of the people who said we have no idea what Trump's state of mind was on Jan 6? I want to know if that's the case. Was he one of the people who said that? Or was he one of the people who said, no, he was probably meaning this? Or about the documents case, where Trump is like very clearly in Mar-a-Lago with all of his secret shit. I'm curious what his position was there. If there was like an actual direct contradiction. Maybe he was one of the people who's like, no, Trump probably meant violent shit here. I am so curious.
How do you figure it out? By investigating it, obviously, right? Yes. And of course. You discover the intent by reading the words. Yes, and so these people can't be real? Well, here's the reason why they're defending it. The reason why they're defending it is because they like doing it. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. They like the form of terrorism this effectively creates.
Oh, okay.
They think that they can weaponize it in their favor. Mm-hmm. And so they defend it because they view it as convenient for them.
Oh, okay.
That's the reason. It's that simple.
They're arresting me. They're interrogating me. I was just using my free speech.
I think if somebody wants to be a martyr, I think you should make them earn it. That's what I think.
Was that a violent threat? Or is he going to say, well, to be a martyr, you could just be arrested? Martyrdom is just being arrested. That makes you a martyr. Martyrdom doesn't imply that you died. Oh, come on. How many times do we say a martyr is somebody who got killed? He means just jailed, obviously, guys.
You want to be a martyr? Go ahead.
No, whatever his intent, I will tell you that there is a guy in Georgia who is issuing threats on my life about a month ago, and he's in jail today.
Got him.
He has been indicted with a crime, as he should have been, and he is in jail as we speak. So whatever James Comey intent.
Listen to what she just said, by the way. And like people like Asmon, Slop, and everybody else is celebrating. Wait, why are you celebrating that he's in jail? He hasn't had a trial. He didn't go to court. He was just indicted. And you're bragging about the fact that he was put in jail on an indictment? That's a violation of due process, isn't it? None of that evidence has been evaluated. That's literally just either a grand jury or somebody issuing a warrant for somebody's arrest. Why are you celebrating that? Why is that good? I thought this was the worst stuff ever. I thought this is what we complained about for so much of the Jan 6 stuff and of people being arrested without due process, without trial, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I guess it only applies to people we like, huh?
Yep.
He and people like him need to be held to account according to the law, which is something that he claims to have given his life for and stands by the rule of law.
Claims.
Fantastic. The rule of law says people like him who issue direct threats against the President of the United States.
Damn. Did all these people get killed? Matt Gaetz, 2024. We've now 86'd. McCarthy, McDaniel, McConnell. Oof. All those murdered people. Holy shit. Has anybody checked in on any of these people? Has anybody checked in on these guys?
United States, essentially issuing a call to assassinate him, must be held accountable under the law.
The soy right for you? Again.
True. He mad.
I understand that, like, a lot of the, and this is the problem with, like, a lot of this, like, leftist rhetoric, is
Tell
that
us.
it's all based on, like, these childish, like, insults and stuff like this.
True.
I don't think most people give a shit about that. You can call it whatever you want. It's still going to happen. Yeah, call it whatever you want to call it. You're still going to jail if you do it. Right, both sides do it. Yeah, they're mentally 11. Exactly, both sides are the same. Yeah, I think so. But, like, in general, I think there's one more part about this. And apparently they are actually, this guy is being held accountable for this. And why can't this stream? Yeah. In all fairness, it goes both ways. So of course it does. Of course. If this happened to Biden or the Democrats, they'd be using the full extent of the law to
And it literally has happened in worse ways. But good one.
prosecute. I mean, I would hope so, right? I would say that anybody who's advocating for, you know, any sort of violence on an elected official should be immediately prosecuted.
Tell us.
Immediately,
Yeah.
there is no place in a civil society for a person that does this. And I would even go as far to say anybody who's advocating for violence on a group of people based off of an ideology and ethnicity, like anybody advocating for violence in general for anything other than self-defense.
Jack Posobiec, 8646. Was he openly calling for the murder of Biden there? Or remember, these people are not serious. Laugh at them. Laugh in their face. Asmongold is doing a performance right now. He's a theater kid. He's doing a performance for the audience. That's all this is. They don't believe these arguments.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person
Then do it.
with the position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be.
Built in?
See, this is the energy that you need to deal with people like this.
And remember, see, this is the energy you need. Remember before, right? Remember before how much these people would cry about the misuse of power and the abuses of the executives and all of this horrible stuff that they would do in lawfare against Trump. But when they've got the power, you need to be judicious and expeditious when it comes to persecuting these types of cases. You need to go as fast and as hard and as powerful as you can. That's the only way to deal with it when they're in power. It's not an accident.
Immediate, direct, like aggressive and definitive. This is how you deal with people like this. Who decides what qualifies for violence, though?
Who cares?
The court decides that.
Now the courts rule is law. When we've decided that we think that something's not good, now the courts. But for Trump's 34 felonies, lawfare, who cares? For all of that, for the Mueller, for the independent investigators, for all that, no, don't care, bullshit. But now when it's some shit that we care about, now the courts can rule on it. Now the courts can decide.
Obviously. When he goes to court and they decide whether he was doing this or not. Who do you think? Yeah, it's spelled out.
Yeah, bro.
I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
Jeez.
Do you believe Comey should be?
If they do this to him, my respect for them will go up massively.
Yep,
I will be so happy if they do this.
It would.
So there's a good chance former FBI Director James Comey will be escorted by Secret Service DC for their assassination investigation over Comey's 8647 post. Get used to it. Yeah, Cash Patel's on it. Yeah, and And again, I don't think that they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to deliver on this. I think they're going to pussy out just like they pussied out with the Epstein files and they pussied out with a number of other things. I'm not expecting a really big, exciting thing to happen.
Who's they? You mean Donald Trump, right? Trump's the president. He controls it all, right?
And I'm going to be totally honest. I'm really not. But, that's the right always pussies out. Yeah, and the thing is that eventually it won't happen. Will this happen? It triggers mass leftist violence? Just who cares? Just bring in the National Guard and arrest them. It's not a big deal.
Who cares if there's mass violence? Who cares? True and based. Now remember, for J6, a lot of these people were non-violent. Now a lot of them were violent, but like, can you imagine deploying the National Guard against U.S. citizens there and all the people that could have died? That would have been horrible. The worst thing ever. But here, you made a joke about God Emperor Trump on social media? Are you crazy? Just bring in the National Guard. Shoot and kill whoever the fuck you have to. Who cares, right? Bring them all. Bring in the National... Like, it's insane.
What's the problem? Like, oh, wow, there's a lot of violence. Okay, well, then just get the police and put them in jail. What? It's not complicated. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand this. It's such an easy way to deal with this. Like, just apply the rules, and that's all you need to do. Just like the Tesla rioters? Yes, exactly. And let's see here. Pussies, meaning suppressed by the left and deep state? Yeah. Coney will just plead that it was a message of impeachment, and that'll be the end of it. Probably not. I think that they could probably pull some of his other call logs and other private conversations he's had. And if he's had private conversations discussing him being, an advocate or talking about like being happy about assassinating Trump, and they find that, and I think that there's a good chance that could happen.
Like, listen to how unhinged this is, right? If he privately told somebody, like, God, fuck, I wish somebody would fucking assassinate. If he said that privately, and then he makes a joke publicly, that's enough to get thrown in prison. And these are the people who are crying, Europe has no freedom of speech, guys. No, Europe has no freedom of speech. Like, they will defend Gallows. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. These people will defend. They will defend, okay, the killing of U.S. citizens if you do something bad enough to Daddy Trump. And bad enough might just mean making a joke about him, okay? Don't forget it.
Then he's cooked. Yep, they're going to get a warrant. Yeah, that's it. And, all right, against, what's this here? Well, Zach, what are you against? You're against freedom of speech? Well, this is, and this is what people like this like to say.
Yeah, like this.
Keep it in mind, and this is one thing that's very important, okay? That these people do not actually care about freedom of speech.
There you go. The projection.
You don't care at all about freedom of speech.
Yes.
All you care about is weaponizing an ideal that you think that you understand that I have against me, so that I will capitulate to your point of view.
King. Yeah, thank you for telling us exactly
that's what you're doing.
How you feel. Thank you.
I know what you're doing.
Thank you.
So, why do you think that I'm against freedom of speech? Why do you think that? I just don't think you're right. No. But why don't you answer the question? Why do you think that I'm against freedom of speech?
King. My king.
This is good. This is going to be good. Don't worry about it, guys. We're going to work through this.
Never heard anyone complain about this. 8646, 8646. The difference? One was political banter. The other is being investigated by the Secret Service. Context matters, and so does intent. Oh my God, dude. Rodeo, Hourglass, Kubrick, Sunset, Tree, Scrap, Wall Street, Vine, Michael Jordan, Hollywood, Herb, Taurus, End, Shrub, Neuroplastic, and Dissolve. To get rid of something or to close something, you can scrap it, end it, sunset it, dissolve it. Greenery, vine, herb, shrub, tree. Kinds of plants. The fuck? Michael Jordan, Hollywood, Rodeo, Taurus, Hourglass, Wall Street, Neuroplastic, and Kubrick. I have no fucking idea. Taurus, Hourglass, Wall Street, Neuroplastic, Kubrick. Michael Jordan. Kubrick. Taurus. Hollywood. What the fuck? Are there like names of movies from a famous from that one director, like Wolf of Wall Street, something Hollywood, something Rodeo, something Tour? I have no clue. Fuck. One off. I have no idea. Michael Jordan. I don't even know what I'm guessing at. Oh, kill me. Bro, I have no idea. I don't even think that helps me, right? Because it could be Hollywood. Oh no, wait. In LA, is there a street called like Rodeo? Is that even spelled the same way? Rodeo Drive? Hollywood, Wall Street? No, this is not even related. And like Michael Jordan, like Boulevard or some bullshit. No. I don't even think. Just kill me. I don't know. Don't know. Don't care. Get me out of here. Don't know. Don't care. Associated with the Bulls? Oh, fuck. Wait, why is Wall Street associated with the Bulls? Is it where the Rodeo, Taurus, what is that, like the logo? Is it a bull? Bull market? Oh my God. Ending with building materials. Wood, glass, brick, plastic. Cringe. All right. I'll be back tomorrow.